All right, we are live, and I'm here with my client Mia Ali, and Mia is a well-being coach. So, welcome, Mia. You're here to share your story with us and your experience of Fierce Feminine and Free. Why don't we start with what do you do?
Thanks. I'm so pleased to be here. So I support purpose-driven women in high-stress careers to manage stress, prevent burnout, and get balance in their lives so that they can make the impact that they always dreamed of when they started their career without sacrificing their own health, their well-being, and all of the other stuff that's really important to them that often kind of goes to the back of the queue.
So good. I know that burnout is such a common story among women entrepreneurs and just high achieving women in general. So, do you have a bit of a story of burnout that inspired you into this work?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm an ex-aid worker. I spent a lot of years working in humanitarian emergencies, which as you can imagine, have their own stresses. And I actually really thrive on a high stress environment, which is why I did that job. But in the middle of my career, I did come very, very close to complete burnout. And I realized that if I wanted to keep doing the work that I loved, I needed to really take the bull by the horns and do something about it. So I've spent the last 10 years learning everything I could about managing stress and burnout. And having started talking to people, I've just realized how very common it is. And under everybody's kind of calm exterior, so many people are really suffering from it.
And it literally can take people out of the game. I mean, I don't think we take it seriously enough, but if you experience burnout, because I have experienced burnout in the past when I was working a job, I can remember literally not being able to get out of bed in the morning, and its health consequences, and what I was eating and doing, and the stress levels and the impact it was having on my body. And I think we just sort of feel like we have to keep going, but that's why people need to come and work with you, because it's a real danger. So let's talk about Fierce Feminine and Free. Why did you decide to join the program, Mia?
So I didn't really know about it, to be honest. A friend of mine got me involved in the challenge, and I thought, oh, yeah, that seems handy. Get on some more kind of sales calls. And it was during the challenge that I suddenly realized that this was the link that I had been missing, that I didn't even know that I was missing. So I was on another program, a really big and very expensive program. And it was in many ways great. It had tons of information and like templates and all of this stuff. But what I realized when I did the challenge was I was missing the joining the dots bit. Like, okay, here's all this great information. What do I need to do on a daily basis? Like, how do I actually make this work for me, for like exactly what I'm doing?
Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so glad you said that, because that was my experience. And that's why I created Fierce Feminine and Free and the Warrior S frameworks. I can remember the same, being in this big program. And the woman who taught it is amazing, but it was so much information. And when I sat down to work, I still didn't know what to do. I was still overwhelmed. So I'm so glad that you have brought that up. Really good.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And yeah, it was really interesting that I didn't even know that I was missing it. But the way you talked about simplicity and processes really spoke to me. And I also realized some massive things that I was just missing, such as, and I know you cover it in the challenge, such as actually inviting people to work with you. You think you're doing it more, and then you look and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not.
Yeah. Oh, it's so true. And it is oftentimes those basic things that we're just not doing, but we don't realize we're not doing them. And when you actually look at it and put a process in place, it really highlights what's not happening and makes it obvious why you're not getting clients. And I think that that's the good thing, because we overcomplicate it in our heads. We're like, why am I not getting clients? And it's all this story and reasons. And actually, it's really simple. Like, you're not asking, you're not doing lead gen, you're not nurturing, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think, if I'm honest, a lot of that stuff was out of my comfort zone. And I was kind of fooling myself. I was making myself very busy, and I didn't know I wasn't doing those things, but my brain was kind of tucking them to the back, going, oh, that makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. So as you say, having the process so that it's like out in the open and you can't avoid the fact that you need to do those things is really helpful.
Yeah, it's another really good point, because it's natural that our brains want to protect us from the things that feel uncomfortable. And so, of course, we're not going to do the thing that our primal brain tells us is dangerous. And what we do instead, we don't realize we're doing it, but I can remember doing it too, is we go and fiddle around with our website, or we go and do some busy work and start writing a book, or start thinking about creating a podcast, or fiddling around with a logo, and we feel like we're busy and productive, but actually none of those things is directly bringing clients and income. And it is, our brain plays tricks on us. So we think we're doing all this work to bring in clients, and actually we're not focusing on the right things. When you have the 4 activities and you come implement with us, and it's in your calendar, and right now I'm meant to be doing my lead gen, right now I need to ask 5 people to work with me, there's no avoiding it. It's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly it.
Good. So what are some specific results that you created as a result of joining Fierce Feminine and Free? Well, actually start with how things were before the program, okay, and then the results.
So before, I had some success. I had a few clients, one-to-one clients, but it was so hard. I was really like walking in treacle, and it felt very hard. And I guess I thought maybe this is just how it is. It's just this hard, and I just need to work harder. And as I kind of said before, I was spending all the time, but didn't really know where to focus. So I was just like, and I'm very good at kind of shiny object syndrome, and thinking, oh, this would be interesting and this would be interesting. I've got a lot of energy for that kind of thing. So I was just pinging off all over the place, and it wasn't particularly focused. A lot of when you talked in the challenge about magical thinking, I had never heard that phrase before, and it did make me laugh, because I'm like recognized in myself that I'm the queen of magical thinking, and it's like, oh, I'm making myself be visible. Here I am, everybody. And then kind of waiting for people to come work for me. And funnily enough, that wasn't really working.
Just in case anyone isn't familiar with that term, I think I was talking about it in terms of thinking that clients are just going to materialize. So do you want to just speak about that? Can you remember what I said roughly?
I just remember to me, the way that I took it on board was that you can't just kind of go and like put your website up and do some social media posts and expect people to then go, oh, yes, I'd really like to do that. You have to really join the dots for people. You've got to go after work. And the magical thinking side is when you kind of imagine all these things that are going to happen, and they're not at all grounded in reality or what's actually happening.
Yeah, amazing. So a lot of people do that. We think, oh, I'll just stick up a website and a few posts on social media, and the clients are going to come rushing in. And we're surprised when that doesn't happen. And oftentimes people get their first few clients because they're already in their sphere and they know them. But then they hit a wall and they're like, well, now what? Where do I get clients now? And I think what is so strong in Fierce Feminine and Free is we do join those dots. So it's like, okay, you're doing content, but are you actually then inviting people to work with you? Does the content make sense? Are you telling people the next step? Are you helping them self-select if your program is right for them? So it's just joining those dots that make all the difference between no clients and clients.
It makes a huge difference. And one thing in particular that illustrated that for me was I was doing free webinars. And when I did that, joining the dots, I had double the number of people registering, and I also increased the percentage that actually turned up. And it just following people and joining those dots for them, and really not going after them like in a bad way, but just don't expect to just put something up once and then that's all you need to do. You do actually need to create relationships and ask people to come and to work with you and to join in and participate.
Exactly, yeah, and just following the process, really. It's all there, so it's just taking it and implementing it in your business. And it's not cookie cutter. There's a process, but each person gets to, you guys in the last round of Fierce Feminine and Free were all really different
Yeah.
businesses. So tell us about some of the results that you created. I know you've mentioned the webinar and increasing the numbers there. What else did you do?
Well, so the big thing for me was that I definitely using this idea of joining the dots and kind of asking people to work with me and kind of going after people. I secured a contract for £21,000 for employee wellbeing work, which was, I still can't quite believe it in some ways. And not only that, but kind of all mixed into that. You were just talking about it not being cookie cutter, and I really experienced that with you, because I'm doing something quite a bit different to some of your other clients now. So it was very individualized to me. I've kind of come out of the program with a new business model.
Yes.
So it's absolutely kind of very much related to what I'm doing. However, at the same time as it not being cookie cutter, all of the basic stuff and all of the tools and all of the lessons still completely apply. So it's just really amazing how you've come together with this program that relates to everybody, but can be used in so many different ways.
Yeah, and I know one of the things you said you loved about the program so much was the step by step, because you said, I just need to know what to do and I will do it. And you are an implementer.
Yes.
But it's because basic business principles are the same. So the strategy is the same. Now, what we do is we take it and we tweak little things. So how are you going to do your lead gen in your particular business? How do we need to speak to your audience? But the principles are the same. So that's why it's kind of generic, but also so individual.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also works really well within the group calls that we have, because we were all quite different, as you said, but there wasn't a single conversation that was had within the group calls that wasn't somehow relevant to me also in my own way.
Yeah. And each of you got individual coaching, didn't you? So even though it's a group, it's a small group, and I limit it to 5 people. And so what that does is it means I really get to know you guys and your business. And I know one of the things when you came in was you were doing or planning employee wellbeing workshops, and then you were working with individuals, and you couldn't quite bring it all together. And so we worked to make it one cohesive business model, didn't we? And got that nice and sorted.
I was thinking about that this morning, actually, before I came on, and I remember actually that you had this insight, this intuition on what this model might look like months ago, and I remember you saying it to me, and I wasn't quite there yet. And so over the program, I've come to where you already had been intuitively early on. And what is amazing now about my new business model is just it's so much easier. I've got people in the pipeline. I've got people contacting me now asking, saying, I've heard you've done this, could you come and do that? And it just all has so much more ease to it. And I feel like I've really kind of gotten into this really good groove for me through the program.
It's amazing. And, you did the work, and everyone's on their unique journey. So it's a timing thing. Sometimes people are ready when they're ready. But what I love is you also now have more in the pipeline. So you secured this £21,000 contract, but they're going to recommend you to other branches of their organization. So this is going to repeat, right? There are going to be more £21,000 contracts in the pipeline. So really excited for your future. Did you have any doubts before joining Fierce Feminine and Free?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I had invested in this other program, I didn't have the money, plain and simple. And more than not having the money, I had this big investment behind me that had paid off to an extent, but not really. It wasn't really working. And so because I'm an action taker, I was like, Julie, I really want to do the program. And then I kind of came off the call and was like, oh shit, I can't do it. I don't have the money. I really can't do it. But then what I came to see was I was completely confident in the program being what I needed to do. The confidence that I needed was, or the belief more was in myself, and the belief that I would use it and make it work. And it's not, I've kind of very nicely illustrated that it's not that you need a belief in the idea that you have for your business and that what you're doing right now. You need the belief that you are going to make it work, whatever that's going to look like, and you're going to do the work to make it something that works.
Yeah, amazing. That's a really good point. I didn't really think of that. But how did you come to decide that you were going to have that belief? You know, going from a place of like, oh, you recognize that, what do I have the belief in myself? How did you kind of come to that decision and then make the investment?
I mean, it's very uncomfortable, and I was still super terrified afterwards. But really, when you come down to that, when you come down to facing, well, do I believe in myself, or don't I, or am I going to back myself, or am I not going to back myself? There's no sureties, are there? You've got to take that leap of faith. And what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is, oh, I'm going to go back to a full-time job or something, because if you don't believe in yourself enough to do the program, then you don't believe in yourself enough to make your business work.
Yeah,
It kind of came down to that for me.
Know the programs for you, and then you're absolutely right. And so I heard that there are risks involved in any decision. So if you made the decision not to join the program, what are the risks associated with that? And you've mentioned maybe going back to a 9 to 5, and it's just different kind of risk, but each of us gets to decide. And it's not, and there's risk associated with inaction. So not making a decision, actually, what are the risks there? And I think we have, as far as we know, this one precious lifetime, and one time at being us. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit on the sidelines of your own life, or are you going to get behind yourself and back the dream you say you have? And the ones that do and take that risk and then do the work to implement, that's when the results happen, and that's when people get these transformations and things actually working for them. And it doesn't always happen right away. There are challenges to work through. It's not like suddenly it's all roses, right? But the point is, you get to live your biggest life. You get to create what you're looking to create. So on that note, how is life and business different now for you?
Well, as I said before, obviously the money is very welcome. Thank you very much. And I'm really enjoying doing the programs that I'm running. I find it very fulfilling to be doing them. But it's just that real sense of ease around my business now. It's not that I don't have to work on it. Obviously I do, but it just, this is how it's supposed to feel like. The kind of universe is kind of coming together, and opportunities are presenting themselves, and it all just makes so much more sense. So I now am in a position where I'm just super excited for the year ahead, because I know I'm going to be really successful this year. And I know that I've got the processes to back me up. And I'd just like to say that it's not all like plain sailing, and I definitely haven't got it all nailed down yet. And one thing that you've really helped me with this year is that for me, life has really happened to me in the last month. I've got a load of horrible family stuff going on. My son got COVID, so he was home from school, and all of this stuff was happening. And this was a real lifeline for me, actually. I'm definitely not working at full whack at the minute, but compared to what I would have been doing if I had no support, it's been quite a big change, and I've done as well as I could have in this last month. It's been quite difficult. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's really supportive and helpful when times are going okay, but it's really a lifeline when things aren't going okay as well.
Absolutely. And I know you've been through some tough things, and one of the things we do in the program is what I call the bare bones strategy. And so it's like, well, how do we keep things ticking along when the shit hits the fan? And, I think you found that quite valuable, didn't you? Is having
absolutely
those basics in place. So, and you have been amazing considering everything you've been dealing with. Look at what you've done. So imagine you at full capacity, look out what, right? So where can people come and join your community and learn more about you and get the goodness that you offer?
So I have a beautiful community of women on Facebook in my Facebook group, Purpose Driven Women Rising Together. And it's just a lovely, friendly community. And I do weekly coaching prompts to help you get more balance in your life and live your life right now. That's my message for this year. You don't know what's coming, live now. And there's lots of interesting stuff going on there. So please do come and join us.
And we'll put a link to that in the comments after we finish. And I know you do, is it a masterclass that you do fairly regularly as well? You've got one coming up?
Yes, there'll be one coming up very shortly. If you get yourself into the Facebook group, you'll find out about it.
Yeah, and that's how to overcome burnout, right?
That's right. Yeah, and getting more a kind of starter to getting more balance in your life, because it's a bit of a journey, but definitely doable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know right before Christmas, you did such a fun thing in your group, which was like an advent calendar of well-being, right? And it was like little daily prompts that just were so enriching and enlightening. And it was beautiful. So you do fun things like that. You're a very creative person. So definitely get over and join Mia's group for sure. We'll put the link in the comments. Go follow her because she is awesome. And she is going to she's going to help you protect yourself from burnout and really live this juicy life that you're here to live, which is achieving your goals, but not at the expense of your health and your well-being and your relationships. So you definitely want to be in Mia's sphere. She's one to watch. Get in her group. Right. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience. Really appreciate you, Mia.
I appreciate you too. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.